You know, there were some pretty good matches on tonight's show. I'm John Renton with my review of AEW Dynamite, the Go Home Dynamite for Full Gear. And I'll have my Full Gear predictions up soon after this video. Obviously, it'd be a bit weird if I had them up before this video because that's not how we're going to do the time warp again. In all seriousness, this show had a couple things I didn't like, but by and large, as far as Go Home shows go, they did some good stuff, and they really do great on the video packages. They're in Indianapolis, Indiana. Indiana wants me. So, the crowd was very loud to start, and while there were some dips, they did have quite a bit of energy. And I always love the energetic crowds. I will say that since AEW has gotten crowds back, especially full crowds, not just at Full Gear, because we're not at Full Gear yet. Okay, I'll stop doing that like Solid Snake. I gotta say that AEW crowds just have a lot more energy, and it's just really nice to have crowds back, in all honesty. So, Bryan comes out to a pop. Bryan Danielson, you know, the American Angry Dragon. Boy, Brie must really hate that. Just going across the face. Okay, bit gross right there. But Bryan Danielson gained a big pop. The yes chance. He's not doing it, but the crowd's continuing the tradition. Because you try stopping the crowds from doing that, Vince, you goddamn senile bastard. Anyway, Rocky Romero comes out with the Best Friends because Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends are part of Chaos. Why? Who the hell knows? I don't know who thought that Orange Cassidy should be in Chaos, but then again, Okada is a bit strange. If you've seen any posts on social media from Okada, he's a bit of a nerd and a bit of a weirdo. He's also a fucking tremendous wrestler, and he's put up with Toru Yano for years, so I guess he feels that Orange Cassidy isn't all that bad. But is he all that jazz? Okay, I'll start with the musical stuff. I guess they're all in Chaos. I guess this is going to lead to Okada possibly appearing, maybe on a future AEW Dynamite. Hey, Battle in the Valley is on Saturday, a couple hours after Full Gear starts, so who's to say that Okada and Tomohiro Ishii won't appear on an episode of Dynamite? That'd be pretty goddamn cool. But anyway, of course, they kept mentioning the Forbidden Door thing throughout this whole thing. It's Bryan Danielson versus Rocky Romero, and I like Rocky Romero. He's a tremendous wrestler. He is really good in the ring, solid as far as submissions and just great stuff. And the fact that both have been wrestling for a really long time, and I mean that with respect. They're well-traveled, they're great veterans, they know what to do, and they know how to put on an excellent pro wrestling match to start a show. And this is the kind of stuff I like that AEW does as far as an American-style promotion. Yes, New Japan does a lot of terrific stuff, and when they just have the short cards and they decide to start off hot with, like, you know, oh, let's start something off hot, let's have a Young Lions match, but then let's really kick it into gear. AEW, at its best, presents a great just alternative, a mixture of New Japan and WCW and even a little bit of ECW, and when it hits the right notes, it's really terrific, and this was them hitting the right notes. Good stuff, strikes, submission holds, really excellent work here. Bryan targeted the legs, Rocky targeted the arm because he goes for the cross arm breaker, and tornado DDT by Rocky. Why is Matt Hardy here? Oh, he's feuding with Orange Cassidy because we needed that feud to continue. We didn't need it to start, but whatever. Matt Hardy, still on a wrestling program in 2021 because, well, we can't all have nice things. So there was a cross body counter. That was very nice. And then cross arm breaker, more counters, and we get the stomps and the Queefla Sunrise. There we go. It's like Tila to Queefla. Boy, if you fucking get that reference, I'll love you guys. And in all seriousness, though, Tequila Sunrise and Bryan Danielson gets the tap out. I'm really trying hard not to call him Daniel Bryan. It's a bit difficult because he's had that name for so goddamn long. Even though he's Bryan Danielson before WWE, he was in WWE for so long. But he gets victory, and then we get a card rundown, and they have the fact that Full Gear is happening soon. I bought Full Gear ahead of time. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be locked in on that on Saturday. I mean, I'm going to have to rush from work to make sure I get home in time for the buy-in. And more on the buy-in a little bit later because they actually listed a women's match that's going to be happening on the buy-in, a women's tag match with two of the best women's wrestlers that they have and two talents that they should utilize a whole lot better. But anyway, Shivani is interviewing the Inner Circle with Insurrection Co. And oh wait, Jake Hager and Sammy, along with Hager, well actually it's Sammy Guevara and Santana Ortiz, and they don't even get halfway to the ring before America's Top Team, I think it's American Top Team, they just attack everybody. They throw concessionaires out the goddamn arena door. It's really uncomfortable. How they managed to do that, I have no idea. Major clipping issues, like we're big rigs over the road racing. There's a little shout out to bad video games all around. But everybody's out there, just everybody. They got every goddamn... They brought UFC people back from the dead to do this stuff. They got Tank Abbott out. No, they didn't. They just got America's Top Team with the Men of the Year. Look, I've hated this feud. I fucking hate it. And I did not like this segment. I don't mind them trying to do something. And Dan Lambert, the sheepish lion, Dan Lambert, he has some great material. And he's a big wrestling fan. He's got a big belt collection. I mean, former National Hockey League player. Easy for me to say. He has, as far as like passion for wrestling, you can tell that he's enjoying what he's doing. I don't know if it's nerves or whatever, but sometimes he'll just rush through so much stuff. And Dos Santos had a kendo stick, and one of the other guys had a trash can lid, and they're trying to get sympathy on the Inner Circle. Faction, in all honesty, that probably shouldn't still be together, because Sammy can be out on his own, Santana Ortiz can be out on their own, Hager and Jericho could be, on their own. They could go and celebrate January 6th like those fuckers want to do. The whole point is, though, this feud isn't very good. It's not, and this went on forever. I mean, it went on forever. We get "You Suck" chants, and Lambert nearly dropping Jericho with that powerbomb through the table. And I mean, I'm not even knocking Lambert, the sheepish lion Dan Lambert, but that was rough. Sky shouts, lets it all out, and then Ethan shouts. And I know that people like Ethan Page. That's fine. I don't even hate him. I just find him boring. He's fine in the ring. I find him boring otherwise. And then Lambert does a Walls of Jericho that I have not seen one done that badly since, well, The Rock's Sharpshooter. The Rock is actually a more egregiously bad. Okay, it's just a bad sharpshooter is what I'm trying to say, because it's 1 a.m, so why should I try to use big words? I know words, the best words. I just don't know how to use them. But yeah, The Rock's Sharpshooter was worse, because Lambert is a former, like I said, hockey player, and obviously is trying to do this stuff like a manager, but he shouts, "It's called a Boston Crab, Championship Wrestling from Florida, 1975, the real Rocky Johnson." Was that one of the times that Rocky Johnson assaulted a woman and, did a lot of bad things to women, and that's part of the reason why, maybe him and The Rock had a strained relationship? 1987 and 2000 were other years where that shit happened, because Rocky Johnson was a piece of shit person. So maybe it's entirely possible that happened. I don't know why they would reference that. I'm not up to date on all my Championship Wrestling from Florida history, especially 1970s. So I do apologize for that. But man, I wouldn't be surprised if Rocky Johnson did a whole bunch of shit. Because again, Rocky Johnson was a piece of shit. So yeah, they stand over Jericho, and man, this just went forever. They gave Britt a lot of pyro. They gave her pyro, golden showers, all that. The doctor will see you, meow. And Ty and Anna Jay, they have Mortal Kombat theme music. And Thunder Rosa comes out. Man, they're all in pink. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. God damn it, I should have said that right off the bat. I love Mean Girls. Retro-reviewed Mean Girls last year. Check that out. But they're all in pink, and Brett's out there looking tremendous. Great work. Rebel's there as the person that's going to take the pin. And Jamie Hayter, sweet fucking Christ. Scintillating camera work during this match, by the way. But I want to say Thunder Rosa once again. Fucking love Thunder Rosa. Naturally, sweet shirt. I mean, great shirt. Got a lot of great shirts. I should really be buying more of these shirts at some point. But I love Thunder Rosa. And her, Anna, and Ty, they are a good, trio here. The match wasn't bad. It was typical. I thought that there was some good pacing to it. Ty does end up topping Rebel to get the victory 1, 2, 3. So obviously, Rebel was going to be the one to take the pin. Rebel's it's kind of like the D-Lo of the group. And I always reference that as far as like D-Lo and the Gangsters or D-Lo in the Nation of Domination. You can beat D-Lo and it doesn't take any steam off the team, because D-Lo is just that kind of natural worker. But Rebel, she's a great, manager / wrestler. I was going to say player coach. It doesn't exactly work. And I'm glad that Rebel seems to be okay being used in matches, because for a while it seemed like anytime she got in the ring, she was getting hurt, and thankfully she seems to be all right. So good. It was a good women's match. It wasn't, was it going to set the world on fire? No, but there's been a lot of multi-woman matches lately on Dark Elevation and Rampage, and also on Dynamite. So that's nice. It's a nice way to build towards Ty Conte and Britt Baker. DMD. So we get a video package on Destination Ruby Soho and Statlander. It's going to be Miss Soho and the Alien. This fall on CBS. And Jungle Boy got a pop and a sing-along to Tarzan Boy. The Acclaimed come out, and I will say this, I enjoyed... Caster is frustrating me because that stuff about Simone Biles and the Duke Lacrosse thing I thought was too far. I was like, okay, now that's ridiculous. And them saying that the Varsity Blondes could just go Eiffel Tower Julia Hart underneath the bleachers, that was a bit much. I do say this, though, just something was really entertaining about this. He said that Jungle Boy couldn't cut promos. He stutters trying to do promos, and he's like, which Jungle Boy's even admitted he doesn't care for promos. He says, I wouldn't kiss you even though you're my fetish. Don't know why that was funny. I don't know why that was funny. And he's like, I gotta emphasize because you leave your girlfriend alone with 7 guys. Jeez. Ooh. It was funny. I actually had to rewind a couple times to make sure I heard that right. But we get Anthony Bowens with Max Caster against Jungle Boy. And was this good? Yeah, I mean, you could have had it on Dark Elevation. It would have been just fine. I'm not saying it didn't need to be on Dynamite. It could have been on Rampage. But this had its... Why do I do this? I don't know. I just started doing it just for fun. But these are 2 young talents that have a lot of upside. Jungle Boy's improved a lot. I think Bowens did great in the singles matches he got while Caster was suspended, justifiably for what he said, though. To be fair, since it was a taped show, they should have edited it. But, Bowens was the clear heel here, and the crowd loved Jungle Boy. The chops were laid in. Caster does some distractions. We get, a knee drop, like Jungle Boy's neck got dropped onto Bowens' knee. And we later got a lariat. We got a nice, side slam. And Caster, got dropped, and then we got a dive from Jungle Boy. And twisting DDT off the ropes. Beautiful maneuver by Anthony Bowens. Just for 2. And then snare trap for the win. He couldn't quite reach his boy. No, and he tapped out. Okay. Good match. And it was well done. And then Bobby Fish attacks Jungle Boy. Because we're going to get the Undisputed Era of some variety in AEW. And I know that they were together in some form or fashion in Ring of Honor. Just before anybody comes at me in the comments. Yes, I'm aware they were all in Ring of Honor and doing some pretty damn good work before. They were kind of creatively stifled a little bit in NXT. And Cage and Luchasaurus come down not a moment too late after Jungle Boy has seemingly been laid out by a bunch of moves. And then we get a pre-tape, a video package on Hangman Page and Omega. So it's about Hangman. He talked about friendships, seeing his friendships at the time, kind of erode while they were winning championships. He had lost, and he kind of went down a dark path. JR, Excalibur, and Taz weigh in. Omega, when Omega tries to be serious and isn't trying to do all the goofy stuff, he can kind of talk. Then there are other times he's just kind of there. And then the Super Elite, the Bucks dressed horribly, absolutely horribly. And Adam Cole, who is on Andrade levels of not really meaning that much. Adam Cole came into a pretty big pop, and yeah, they did have Bryan Danielson come out right afterwards, and they did that. But still, it was what it was. Adam Cole's a big deal, and now he just seems like one of the guys. I know what it's going to lead to. It's going to lead to him either going away from the Elite or taking the people with him, and Omega's going to be left out in the cold. Still, I don't think the Cole's been used all that well. He's fine in matches. I mean, he's really good. I mean, he's a natural. He could do this stuff in his sleep. I just don't care for the stuff because I'm not a fan of the Bucks. I'm not a fan of their comedy. There are some people that are. That's fine. And then here's Bobby Fish. Well, there's no dispute whose era this is. Yeah, way to dance around that, you goddamn idiots. And it's going to be Fish versus Jungle Boy on Rampage. So we get a video package on Punk and Kingston. Good stuff. I gotta say, the thing they had on Rampage was really fucking fantastic. Really good shit. I actually rewatched it. I still had it on DVR. I decided to rewatch it because it's just really good. It was something that would have fit in just fine. Jim Crockett Promotions, and like some of the darker times, or the times in WCW with the NWO and the Attitude Era, it would have fit in just fine. It would have fit in Mid-South. It was really, really good shit. My point is, okay, maybe it wouldn't have fit in Mid-South. I don't know if Watts would have allowed that, but the whole point is it would have fit in a lot of territories because these two come across as real, and it's a real natural rivalry with stuff that smart fans, because there's a lot of smart fans in the crowd, a lot of smart fans that watch the show, and there's nothing wrong with that. Since all the information's out there, a lot of fans are as smart as they can be, with the information allowed. Obviously, no fans are inside the business, so we need to remember that the wrestlers know more of this shit than we ever will. We know maybe 1% of it, but we know enough to know that Kingston and Punk have history. And they are not going to be able to rewrite said history. DuckTales, woohoo. So we get Wardlow versus Wheeler Yuta. Well, there was an attempt. Wheeler slipped, that got hit with 4 I hope Wheeler's okay. Got hit with 4 power bombs, and because Wardlow was feeling it. I'm really feeling it. And then got the casualty of war. 1, 2, 3. Didn't knock him out, pinned him. Okay. And then suddenly, hey, we got an aftermath. Been there, done that, the aftermath. Isaiah Cassidy and the Blade. Is Butcher okay? Is Mark Quinn okay? Genuine question. Why are we just taking one half of 2 teams and putting them together? Blade seems to be doing all right, and that's good, considering he had anxiety and mental health issues he was talking about recently in an Instagram post. And hopefully him and Allie are perfectly happy and fine, and he is getting the help that he needs to continue his career and his life. But Matt Hardy shows up. He puts a chair on Cassidy's neck and does what Excalibur mistakenly called the side effect, but it was changed to the twist of fate, but the twist of hate. Why is Matt Hardy being featured in any kind of feud in 2021? He should be a manager. That's it. He can't fucking go anymore. All right, so Punk, we get Punk and Kingston in a pull apart in the parking lot, and you can tell it was in the parking lot because it was really, really bad audio, very echoey audio. When did Sanjay Dutt go to AEW is what I wrote down. I didn't realize that Sanjay Dutt went there. I knew he was an agent for WWE. I believe he was one of the ones furloughed. I just didn't realize he was in AEW. Good for him. I like Sanjay Dutt. So, Dante Martin and Mini Morphin Leo Ranger. That's what he fucking looked like. Taking on Matt Sydal and Leemoriarty. Okay. For those who don't know, and some of you may, it's not that I don't think that Leo Rush is an athlete. I can't stand the guy. I loathe him. I loathe him. I can't stand him at all. Can he do cool moves? Sure. He did about every move in fucking existence 5 times over during this. Some people like him. That's fine. I don't think this teaming with Dante is going to work all that well. Darius apparently is out a lot longer with a knee issue. I don't know when he's supposed to be back. Can't come back soon enough, in my opinion. Sydal is a veteran. Leemoriarty's very good. And the double jump moonsault, 1, 2, 3. I didn't care. I'm sorry. I didn't care. You know why I didn't care? Because it's Leo. And it wasn't for me. It wasn't a bad match. I like Dante. I think Dante has a world of potential. I think Lee's very good. And Matt Sydal is a good athlete. I'm not even saying Leo's a bad athlete. I just didn't care. So we get a Miro, pre-tape. Bryan, this is impersonal. You're everything to some, but you're nothing to me. And I've said it before. I'm just going to touch on it quickly. I just wish that they would have presented Miro like this from the beginning. That being said, they've done a great job the last number of months. Him as TNT champion and doing some great shit. And now he's motivated. He's doing some stuff. His God has angered him, and he's going to get back at his God. He says, will my God trade my bad neck for yours? You say that you came here to feel alive, but why would you do that when you're facing a man holding a scythe? Say goodbye to your wife so I can say hello to mine. This is exactly the type of Miro, Rusev, Miro, whatever, that we knew, that many fans saw for years. This is the kind of Miro that they should have been, that has been crying to come out for so long. It was crying to come out when he was Rusev for the last couple of years. The whole Rusev Day thing. There was all this potential in Miro, and it was pretty damn good stuff. This was really good, though. Pre-tapes, if he's writing this is great. Pac versus Dax Harwood, really good. The crowd popped for, this. They popped for the nice exchanges. We get a dive by Pac into the break. Avalanche Brainbuster. They sold this stuff. It was good. Pac was bleeding from the chops. Pac, however you say it, totally kept distracting or trying to. We get a brainbuster for 2. And then we get a big back superplex by Dax and a huge lariat. And it looks like, a rebound bomb. Oh no, 1, 2, no. We get the brutalizer. Dax taps out quickly because he had tape on his shoulder. He wants to preserve himself because him and Cash have to try and get the AEW Tag Team Championships from the Lucha Bros just a few days away at Full Gear. Nice stuff. And then Cash gloms him, and that's pretty much it. Then suddenly the lights go out. Oh no, what the hell? Sting's gonna show up? No, it's Malachi and Andrade, and they just beat up Pac, because why the fuck not? Then suddenly the Lucha Bros show up, and Cody shows up through the crowd. And he got some cheers, but I think until he was starting to battle Malachi, and then he was starting to get boos because people are tired of Cody. I'm tired of Cody. I don't want to see Cody on my television anymore, because he's not his dad, and he's barely half of what his brother is. But that being said, it's going to lead to a tag match. It's Cody and Pac versus Andrade and Malachi at Full Gear. So Rampage is going to be Fish and Jungle Boy, Cassidy and Matt Hardy in a lumberjack match, and probably a lot of stuff that's going to lead to the countdown to Full Gear immediately after Rampage. I'm not going to review that. I'll review just Rampage. So we get an MJF and Darby package. Darby is good at playing checkers, but I play chess and all this stuff. And then the entourage is the Dark Order and the Elite, including Cutler and Nakazawa, who have to be two of the most useless wrestlers on any mainstream wrestling broadcast. They're all banned from this contract signing. Shivani hosts it. Paige gets a pop. Omega gets some reaction. And they sit down, and not a lot of time left here, so they go over their stuff. That's a huge belt, is what I know. The AEW World Title is a huge belt. Paige, I don't know why he thought that shirt was a good idea. I mean, granted, I just wear wrestling shirts. That was a bit of a choice. But Omega talks about, this was all supposed to be for you, but your insecurities, When Omega tries to be serious and isn't trying to be comical, it sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. This promo wasn't that bad. Paige says, you got a tag partner that you always felt you couldn't measure up to, or you had a tag partner you felt you couldn't measure up to. Kota Ibushi. Great, we're going to get Kota Ibushi coming over to AEW Dynamite. That's going to be interesting, especially if you know all the backstory there. And he references Full Gear last year. You said, congratulations, or, great job. You weren't proud of me. You were afraid of me. You were afraid that would light a fire under me. Now I'm going to beat you at Full Gear and realize my potential. And then suddenly a cameraman crosses. Oh no, it's Don Callis. He hits him with the camera. He's busted open, and they they have Omega sign the contract in Paige's blood. Ooh. The fact that Don Callis is back on television is fucking revolting. Unless this is going to lead to him being spiked and taken out of the goddamn company, that is not going to make me more interested in this. That being said, I'll do my Full Gear predictions in just a bit. Let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rethlin. I'll see you soon.